Do you neighbors know my phone is taking pictures by itself? Welcome to the shed shop, neighbors. In this video, I am going to show you how to change the crankshaft seals on a Stihl MS660. But first, if you're new to the channel, welcome. And sometimes we have long intros. Today, I'm hoping not, because the boss said it took you 2 minutes to set up the camera. You got 3 more minutes left on your coffee break. And I said, well, shit, boss, you know I never can maintain 3 minutes. I have a hard time doing a 5-minute intro. Anyways, so, that being said, this saw, where it's at in its stage currently right now, is we've got all the components out of the way except my oil pump to get to our crankshaft seals completely. I've removed the flywheel and everything else. And if you need help with any of that, if you need to do this job and you're trying to get those crankshaft seals, I'll put an info card wherever it ends up. I haven't learned where to point yet, but I'll put an info card up here. You can click on that if you need to go over there first, and that's the diagnosis of this chainsaw. And so you'll see us essentially tearing that saw apart to get to the crankshaft seals. Essentially, the story on this saw is neighbor Keith has built this saw for personal use and now might be selling it. I will let you know what he decides. And he called me up and said, hey, I built this saw and I'm having trouble. It won't run right. I can't even remember. I don't even remember if he was able to get it to start. So I essentially told him, come on over to the shed shop, and if it's something you think it's just a carburetor adjustment or something you need help with, you know, I'll do that in the doorstep. And if it only takes a few minutes, you know, you don't have to pay me. But if I spend 30 minutes trying to help you with your trouble with my way of making a living, I do accept tips. And so he gave me a nice tip for spending some time tinkering on a saw with him. And then we discovered that the impulse hose was not hooked up. So he took it home, hooked up the impulse hose, was still having trouble with it. And at that point, we had decided we're going to just bring it back to the house. We'll see if it's just a carburetor adjustment again. And it was not. We tried to cut with it. The saw was just not doing anything right. And I shut it off at one point. And I said, no, Keith, something's not right with this saw. Something's wrong. Something's seriously wrong. Anyways, so essentially that's when we decided we're going to go ahead and do a full diagnostics on it. A vacuum pressure test, look at the cylinder, look at the piston, check if we've got anything damaged, check if it's started to score or something, figure out where our issue is. And we had discovered an air leak on our crankshaft seal side, and just out of curiosity, we're going to check our flywheel side. I think, I don't know, you guys, please understand, this is just an opinion. I'm not a professional, and I don't have a service workshop manual on this saw. So I cannot give you an exact depth. I can just go by my general experience with Stihl chainsaws. It appears to me, neighbor Keith, you might have set this thing a little too deep. And if you did, I hope you didn't damage the bearing face. We'll check it. I think it should be fine. But we'll see what we got going on once we get it out. So essentially what I'm going to do is I'm going to use, see, the boss said coffee break's over. I'm going to use, oh, boss, I'm talking about the job. This isn't really an intro. Ha-ha! Got him there. Yeah, I used to be schizophrenic, but now we're okay, neighbors. Don't worry. I'm going to use my specialty tool here first. And I'll only try this on the flywheel side one time, because oftentimes it'll pull the crankshaft side easy, but it just does not take that flywheel seal out for some reason, even though this is the tool. This is the Holtz Pharma one. But I really struggle to get. So if we don't do it that way, I will show you the other ways you can do it, which I've got to make one. You have to make a little 90-degree and a little screwdriver like this or something. You can sometimes use a pick, but the big ones like this are often too thick. And then the little ones like this are often too thin and they just bend on you. And so sometimes it's just a matter of trying different little tools, but the most important thing we're going to look at is we don't want to damage our crankcase where our seal presses in. This is a metal seal, right? Okay, we're doing Pharmatech seals here. And then the other thing we discovered is this clutch is really, really loose. And so we're going to try these highway springs on it. I've never used clutch springs aftermarket, but we'll try them. They feel pretty strong, actually. I was surprised. They're made of copper, not copper. They're made of, I don't know, it feels to me like it is a hard metal, harder metal, a soft metal, but a harder metal than some of the other aftermarket springs I've pulled off of saws. And so I'm hopeful. I think they're pretty strong. I think they'll be okay. So anyways, this metal here, let's go ahead and open our seals up, neighbors. Why not? My knife is tight. Okay, this metal here right? And you'll see when we turn down the saw, it's going to sit inside our crankcase. And our crankcase, that along that diameter there, that that outer diameter there, we don't want to damage that, because then there would be space between our crankcase and our oil ring, and I'll show you that. And if I forget, well, hell, neighbors, you'll just have to tell me I did you dirty. So anyways, that being said, having hella problems with the internet. If you're here, I got lots of footage coming for you, working hard on it, trying new things, and might go ahead and buy the GoPro today. We'll see what happens. I got to sit down and do my credit cards today, Thursday, or tomorrow, Friday. And King Jesus has provided for the gravel, and I'm doing the labor right now to provide for the spreading of the gravel, because neighbor Keith is bringing his skid steer over and spreading my gravel for the new building, Shed Shop 2.0, to sit on. And that's how that works, neighbors. You see, I fixed neighbor Tanya, my massage therapist, tiller, and we traded labor. Okay, instead of trading money, we just said, hey, I can do this and you can do this, and why don't I do this for you and you do that for me, and we'll be good to go. And it's great. And we don't have to sit there, well, I'm working an hour and I get this much an hour, and you're working this and you get that much, and so you got to work an hour and 40 minutes, blah, blah, blah. We can just say, hey, I'm willing to do this job for you if you do this job for me. And that works great. And we need to do more of that, neighbors. That's what community is, man. That's how you get from under the thumb of the big corp. And also, sorry if you're big corp, but I'm not sorry. And also, just essentially how we bring the value of the dollar bill back up, because it's dying. Our dollar bill is not worth shit no more. Did you see how much it is in comparison to the euro today? Yeah, it keeps going down. It's all over the place, but it keeps going down. It'll spike and then go down and spike and go down, but every time it goes down, it goes lower. And then the spike isn't as high next time. That's like gas prices and everything else they're doing us dirty on, neighbors. So anyways, let's get back on track. That's essentially it. I'm ready to get to work, because I got lots to do today, and I want to get caught up, because by the time neighbor Kyle hopefully comes over tomorrow night, I'll be able to sit down in front of the fire with him, hopefully try a different kind of beer. I don't love beer. I like beer sometimes. And so I like trying different beers like once in a while. And so I'll try that with him. Now remember, the Bible says, don't get drunk. Please understand that. It says you can drink, but don't get drunk. Wise men don't get drunk. Pay attention to that fact, okay? So, that being said, I want to have a good feeling like I've had lots of production. And so I'm encouraged. I'm in miserable pain, but I'm encouraged because I'm tired as hell. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck, God damn it, King Jesus. You gonna help me or not? Damn it. I need to get through. And thanks for providing my money for my gravel. I will tell that story in another video, neighbors. The exact dollar amount, $1 off. But I count that $1 as something special and awesome. Let's turn down to the bench and get to work, damn it, neighbors, before I get fired, doubling my break time. Shit, boss is pissed. Just told me. Said get to work. Okay, neighbors, remember, I'm going to be using this Holtz Forma specialty tool. This, I think, is called a crankshaft seal puller tool. But honestly, I don't necessarily recommend this, because it seems to me like the redneck ways that I've always used in the past. I bought this for purposes of showing you in video, and I rarely use it. I'll always try it the first time, but with my arthritis and stuff, I struggle to tighten things down the right way and everything else. And so, I wanted to see, we're going to see, out of curiosity, I did you dirty, neighbors. We're going to check real quick with our vacuum pressure tester, and we're going to see, should I turn the fan down on the AC so you guys can hear better? Did you dirty? Lied to you. It's on low already. So we're just going to check with our soapy water. I've left this thing up because I'm going to need to vacuum pressure test it after I install my seals to make sure I did my job right. So if I didn't, I don't have to go so far backwards. Now the other thing is, when we install these are sleeves that are actually made for certain jobs. This one will not fit this saw, but like you can see, this side is tapered for the flywheel side of a crankshaft, but it is not for this big crankshaft. This is for a smaller crankshaft. This is for the 026, I think, is this one, or the 028, I don't remember. But and then on that side, the clutch side, you can see they're rimmed out, so that if you have the right tool, you literally have to just hit this with your hammer and it sets your depth for you. Okay, I don't have this for the saw. I would love eventually to have these for every saw, but it takes me a lot of time to sit down and find the part numbers and get them ordered. This one, again, I don't recollect what it is. There's your part number, but I don't recollect what model it goes to. Probably the 1141 series saw. So anyways, we're just gonna again pressure test this just for a. Now I will have to pump it because I didn't. Oh darn it! You know what? Well, check, neighbors. I don't see my soapy water. It's outside, but that's okay. I've got no. That's bleach. We don't want to use that. Okay, let me get the soapy water. So essentially, because we've got such a large leak, I'll have to continuously pump on my vacuum. Damn it! There go my these crankshaft seals. You guys just want to keep running away. Both of them jumped off the bench. So let me get those yet again. Okay. Can you guys make sure we don't lose them? I mean, I bought like 6 sets, but can you make sure we don't lose them? Because that's all my guy had. It's all my drug dealer had. It's kind of like my parts dealers are my drug dealers. And if you don't know this channel, that's because I used to be a drug addict. Essentially, and I got to make me a rig to where I can set my air compressor at 10 pounds and have a continuous blower, so it just continuously pumps gentle pressure into the saw. I don't see a leak in this one, but that doesn't mean there's not one. He wants to go ahead and do both, so we will. I don't see any bubbles. I would say my curiosity, or his curiosity, our curiosity, I don't think this one has a leak, but I put a lot of soapy water in there, but you would think bubbles would come up. So we'll try one more time just out of curiosity. Yeah, I think he set this one right. I just think it's too deep is all. I would think that should be just slightly above. See how his flywheel is tapered. That depth. Not a whole lot of this flywheel key left. It has been worn down. Yep, so it might be a little deep, but not too bad, I guess. So we're just gonna go ahead and remove them regardless. I don't know. The thing is, if it's not rubbing, I hate to. He did replace it, it looks like. So it is what it is. So essentially, yeah, this isn't gonna. There's no room behind it now. It is too deep. This thing is 100% set too deep. I know it is. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get behind it, so we're going to have to go straight to the other method, neighbors. Okay, I've had to make me my tool. I can't find a drill bit, and even if I did, there's just, this is one of those flywheel sides. On the crankshaft side, we've got enough metal to drill a hole and take our pick and stick it down in there and get a bite. On this one, there's not really enough metal. I mean, it's close, you could, but my little drill bits would break in there. So essentially the idea is right now we're trying to get up under like this on this so that we can pry it out. This is set too deep. I know this for a fact. Well, I'm sorry, I shouldn't word it that way. I am almost certain. Let me get some chit out of our way, neighbors. One moment, bear with me. Sorry, don't have a lot of time to edit because the internet's too slow and I have to keep redoing it because it freezes, and that means I have to start over. Okay, so essentially, neighbors, you can see right here, okay, this is set in right there. It's set in down on that lip. Okay, that's too deep. It should be slightly above. That's why I can't get behind it with my puller, I think. And I don't even know if this is going to work, but we're going to try. Okay, so let me zoom you out here. Alright, let's get back to work. Let's get focus, class. Okay, boss said I can have a quick coffee sip. Boss told me that was a long gulp, not a sip, and if I do that again, he might fire me. I told him, I said, boss, you know how hard it is to find a two-stroke mechanic that will go to the extents I'll go to? Or you know how hard it is to even find a two-stroke mechanic? Okay, this thing wants to be a nightmare. We're going to tap it very gently. We don't want to destroy things, you guys. We got a bearing face we got to think about. Our crankshaft, or our crankshaft to think about. and our crankcase, most importantly, to think about. I just am not able to get behind this at all. This is going to be a challenge. He's 100% set this too deep. I'm just trying to help my other screwdriver. I might have to make me a little notch out. Sometimes what I do is, you know what? Should we set the Dremel up? I'll pause and I'll make the tool and show you. I know we're going to need it now. Okay, here we go, neighbors. And so all I've done is literally taken me a cutting wheel and notched out. And you want to leave yourself some meat, but it can't be too thick, this top part. The idea is we're going to take this part and try and get it under our seal like so. So we'll go in this way, right? Okay, and then we'll turn so that in hopes we can grab that and pry out. Okay, I have so many of these things that these break a lot when you do it this way. But the thing is, sometimes you have to go through this to get these things out. It's not always easy. And this one is set really deep, so I cannot seem to get anything up underneath of it. Because I'm hitting the bearing is the problem behind it. There's no space between the oil seal and the bearing. Yeah, see, this thing has broken. No, it has not. Sorry. I lied. Did you dirty? Okay, here we go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, try and tap this in there. Okay. There we go. I think I got a little bit of bite behind that thing. And now, should we use the Knipex? Grab this screwdriver and see if we can pry it up. Essentially, I'm going to try using our crankcase nubby here as a pivot point. There we go. Look at that, neighbors. Huh. Rob Weaver, are you there, neighbor? Thank you, neighbor, for your donation of my Knipex pliers. You said to send you a close-up photo. Can you take a damn screenshot? Because all day today, I keep forgetting to take that damn photo for you, neighbor. There's our messed up metal on the teeth right there. You can see the shiny part, neighbor. That's the only way to explain it. The shiny part is the messed up teeth. I've tried so hard to get the right angle on the camera to get the good picture, but I'm struggling all day today. And then on the other side, you'll see right there, that shiny part, neighbor. Okay, the teeth disappeared right away the first time I tried to use them on the threads of a bolt. But I don't know if you're supposed to grab the threads of a bolt. Okay, let's keep moving on, neighbors, because now this job is taking way longer than it was supposed to. And I got to keep going. So we need to take two screws out for our oil pump. Let me back you out more. Okay, oil pump right here, 2 T25s. Okay. I thought these bits were magnetic, darn it. Did they do me dirty and lie? Probably. There's that. Okay. Get our oil pump out of the way here. Messiness. I'm gonna install it. I'm gonna install that so it doesn't leak so much, you guys, I think. Alright, and then for this one, really that puller would work, but I can probably pull it right out with this one. I'm willing to bet. We'll just get behind it like we did our other side. And then we'll grab our Rob Weaver donated Knipex. Nope, didn't want to grab that one. All right. There we go. I think I got it better now. I don't know. We'll try. Screwdriver's a little too short. There we go, neighbors. Look at that. Thank you, Rob Weaver. Whoa, did you put these bearings in, Keith? Look like OEM. 17D4010/14F. Yeah, I don't think he did bearings on this. I don't recollect. A lot of times guys don't do bearings on these. I don't a lot of times too. If they're good, I don't. I grease them and go. Okay, so now that we got our old stuff out, we can put our new stuff in. And there's lots of different videos on how to do this stuff, neighbors. I can tell you on most of them, it does say to pack this cavity with grease. Okay, high temp lithium grease. You don't want no cheap stuff that is going to break down easy. Okay, and so I do that. On this big one, I put a very thin layer in because it just seems a lot to me. I can't say that every service manual says it, but on the 028s, the 034s, let's see, the 026, 017s, 170s, they all say to do this in the crankshaft seal. And so I just put me a thin layer in there, okay? And then essentially, I also take me some grease on this lip here. This just helps give it a good start, good life, instead of hot or dry, hard metal on it. You're giving it a good life of this, and that will work itself off real quick in the startup process and the break-in process that you do to seat your rings. Okay, and so it just gives it a good chance to get started and lubricated good. And so very careful not to hit your threads and everything else and ruin your dust lip. Go ahead and get that down there. I know you neighbors can't really see what I'm doing, so I'll fix you. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to rattle you there. Got to move everything out of the way for you. Okay, here we go. Okay, so essentially, is that okay, guys? I know it's not perfect, but I do need space to work. Okay, should we turn our light on? See, no matter how much I do to try and make sure I don't have to edit footage, I'm still gonna have to edit footage, but that's okay. No worries, neighbors, no fret. Can you guys see okay? I like this because it helps me see my depth. I like to keep an eye on my depth because these things, you got to get them right. I wonder if this will fit. It does fit. I like it. Okay, so I am going to literally try and make sure everything is centered, because what's happening now is we're going to push our dust lip over that thicker part of our crankshaft right now, but we want it to go as even as possible because it can slip over very easily. This one will only go to that depth. Okay, so it will not work on this crankshaft. It can slip over very easily, and if you don't get this started in the groove even, you're in trouble. So mine is protruding. I might have to use a protection sleeve on this. This doesn't feel like the right size crankshaft seal. Let me see something here, neighbors. I'm sorry. We want to do it right. We don't want to go through what we just went through. Okay, it appears to be proper. Okay, what we might have to do, I don't have the install sleeve for this one. I've got a note. Let's see here. Do I? Nope, that's going to be too small. And that's going to be too large, So we'll have to use our redneck one, but the thing is, since we've redone the shed shop, they're not in here. They're under a tarp outside somewhere, buried, my little tin pieces and stuff. And so once again, neighbors, this is the damn fucking struggle and battle and nightmare that I go through all day, every day. What's supposed to be like an hour job has now been about 3.5 hours of trying to gather shit, dig shit, find shit, make shit, fix shit, custom shit. And so this is what always happens. This is why I don't make money. I make like $3 a freaking hour if I'm lucky. If I'm lucky. That's when people actually come pick their shit up and pay their bill. I got so many saws sitting here that need picked up right now, and it's starting to get overwhelming. Because I've got like $700 of work that I haven't been paid for over the past 3 months. So I don't know what to say, neighbors. Here we go. Essentially, I'm going to use this piece of tin. This is a very crude one. Let me see if I got a better one. I'm going to use this piece of tin as like a sleeve. It's like a protection install sleeve to help our seal not protrude, because you see what's happening is our spring is popping out as we try and install our seal And so if that spring pops out and we don't see it back there, our seal does not work, because that spring is essentially what keeps it tight on our crankshaft. Okay, so we'll do this, and I might need to make a longer one. I had one, I just don't know where it is. I don't usually put it inside the seal first, but you can. Okay, we'll do that. We'll get our seal all the way at the top here so that we can flare out the ends down there to fit them on our crankshaft, hopefully. If not, I'll have to make a longer one. Okay, it has gone. Okay, so now that will help us essentially get it down, but the thing is, we only want to get it so far. And then we've got to, at the same time we pull our tin out with our needle nose, we've got to push our crankshaft seal down so that it doesn't come up with our seal with our tin. Okay, so now we're over the first hurdle. Okay, now I'm just trying to press it in a little bit so it doesn't pop back off. See, like it wants to right there. And then essentially, I'm gonna grab me a socket. This is a 15/16. It's what I have that seems to work good for me on these. I'm going to try and center it, okay? And darn it, I had my big hammer down and it's up there. This kills me because I can't grab it with my right arm because of my shoulder. My little hammer just isn't quite good enough for these big sockets. Okay, so essentially, you guys, I'm just going to try and tappy, 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 get this started. The most important thing to understand is we need it even all the way around. Okay, so we take our time on the first part of it, getting it started. And if you're really anal, you can use calipers. If you have calipers, I never knew for the longest time when I first started using calipers many moons ago that this measured depth. You can check depth along it. I can see right now I need to go inside on this side more. So what I'm going to do is use this side of my socket and hammer to get that in a little bit more instead of having it centered. So I'm going more over here than the other side, okay? And just little bits at a time, because if this goes too crooked, you're screwed. What I recommend is, if you're going to do this job for the first time, I suggest you get 2 sets of seals just in case, okay? Because you're liable to mess them up the first time or go crooked. And once it goes crooked, it's very rare you can get your thing right back out without any damage to your seal. We're not looking too bad, but we're still not quite straight, so I'm still gonna, up here, see it popped crooked on me. The problem with that is it's just gonna pop crooked if I go back down here and try and tap 2. Okay, just checking my depth, guys. Once I think I'm about even, close to even, I'll go in a little bit more and check. And if I'm not even, I'm just keep working toward even. And if I get too far out of whack, I want to know how far I can go in before it's too late for me to pull my chip back out. This one doesn't want to go in. Doesn't want to go in here. I don't know why. Okay, so now we're uneven, and if we try and hammer all the way home right now, we're in deep doo-doo caca. So I have to try and get it to start going straight, or I have to get it out. And so it doesn't seem to want to go right there. Man, yeah. Yeah, this thing just doesn't want to go even. Damn. Okay guys, these are a struggle. I hate crankshaft seals. This is why I don't like doing these, but they've been going a lot better for me lately. They really have. But of course the camera's out, so essentially that's why they're not going good. So let's try this again. I've never used a socket on a 660, but it seems like I have space. Yeah, my socket's bottomed out. I'll be damned. Okay, that is going to be a problem, I think. Neighbors, I'm going to have to use a smaller socket, which is going to make it a little more precarious. And let me see what I've got in my set over here. I don't like that. That's not going to work at all. None of my cobalt sockets are going to work. And my uncle has all the bigger sockets, so we're going to have to roll with it, neighbors. That's just life. That's what it is. We try our best. I got extra seals if it doesn't work. Okay, we're getting closer to even, to where we can drive home, which is going to be just about flush, I believe, on this saw. The important thing is to ensure that our dust lip is all the way down over this crankshaft as it lifts up right there. And also to make sure, I mean, on this one, I don't know that you could really damage, yeah, you could, I guess, damage your bearing face because it sits inside the bearing, so not... that's why, like I said, if you do a lot of these, it's good to buy a specialty tool. Okay, I want to get a Q-tip and clean up and inspect. I feel like I should go in more, but I feel like it's that it cannot go more, but that doesn't mean it can't. But I want to look where I'm at. I wish I had the depths of what these were supposed to be. Yes, I 100% need to go more. It must go more. Maybe my socket's hitting the crankshaft again somewhere. I wouldn't think so, but maybe it is. Okay, I still feel like we need to go more. But I feel like I'm not moving. I feel like I'm bottomed out on something. What I can tell you is that dust lip is definitely down where it needs to be. Damn, I wish I knew the depth on these. It does not feel like it's going anymore. It really feels like it's bottomed out. But again, they're supposed to be tight, neighbors. Not necessarily tight as in pushed in to the bottom, but they're supposed to be tight. So sometimes they are hard to get pressed all the way in. The challenge is I am now not liking where I have to hit this bearing with this socket, because I don't want to concave the center, cause it to go in the center and not the outsides. This damn thing doesn't fit. It's just ever so slightly too short. Ever so slightly. Okay, so I have another idea. Every idea I come up with is failing, neighbors. Imagine that. Everything's just slightly. That's my life, though. millimeters too short. Millimeters, you guys, millimeters. That's what I deal with all day. This is my life, neighbors. And I'm sharing it with you because shit, if you think you fucking got it bad, come walk a day in these shoes. That's all I got to say about that shit. For real. I mean, this shit gets overwhelming. Okay, I have one other way I do this that I freaking really hate. I really hate, but it's so hard to have everything you need in this teeny tiny shed to work on 1,000 different saw models. Okay, I think that's about the best I can get it. We'll have to test it after we get our other one in. I am not loving it, honestly. If I'm being honest, I'm probably going to end up redoing that. I will have to go dig a different socket out or something from somewheres. I don't know where I'm going to get it from, but yeah, because I just feel like it's riding high right up here only. So I feel like it's not quite even, and if it's not, it's liable to leak and not last like it's supposed to, and we don't do that to our neighbors. Just because it doesn't leak doesn't mean it's done right. Okay, so I will think about that when we'll get this one in, and then we'll vac pressure test and we'll go from there. And the other thing I didn't tell you guys, I did it whilst I paused you earlier, you want to clean your surfaces good, okay? And you can use a little bit of grease. I think it says you can put oil on the outside of the crankshaft seals if you have to. Okay. Yeah, so I'm looking at this side. This thing does not have to be set as deep as it was for sure. There's lots of space back there, and I can already tell it's supposed to be protruding out of the lower lip here just a little bit. I can just tell by my, I guess, fake knowledge of pretending to be a freaking chainsaw guy, neighbors. Like how I said freaking instead of fucking. We'll get there, neighbors. It's one day at a time with that shit. But I won't stop saying shit, and I won't stop saying shit when I'm talking about shit. I'm just greasing our cavity. So sorry I'm doing it off camera, but I only have a little bit of room, neighbors. And I also wanted to go behind the boss's back and take another swig of coffee, and it's almost gone, so I'm sad. This is why I need a wife, so she can make me coffee, and I can work my ass off to feed and provide for her and our kids. Okay, on this side, we're going to use that tin again, and I could not get his flywheel key is very shallow, and that does happen a lot. It's not uncommon to see a guy go over that. A lot of times I will just start on one side and pull my ring to get it over the other way, but the best way is to use this sleeves. Okay, so essentially just close it up small enough to get your ring on. Well, I guess we'll just start it inside the ring again. I don't usually like doing it this way, but I'm struggling a little bit today, I guess. So, and then just hold that together. Get your tin started over everything, okay? And then use your tin and just hold your ring. Get it started over your flywheel and everything. And now essentially hold your tin, push your ring down. And now if your tin's longer, it's a little bit easier, but I'm showing you if you got a short piece like me, is how you can do it, okay? Now, I do believe I should be able to, we're past our flywheel and all our danger zones, so we can go ahead and take the tin out. We just got to hold our ring so it doesn't pull up with it, but we're not trying to hold it from springing back out on this side like we were the other side. So now we want to try and get it semi-straight before we get it started. Whatever you got to do that. Sometimes I might have to lift this side up very carefully, okay, because one side already started in, okay. And then I thinks, even though this is probably gonna be tight, Yep, I think so. I can use that, and I think the way it fits in there might be just right, because as long as I keep this dang thing straight, my ring will go in straight, or my seal will go in straight. Okay, here we go. Remember, a little bit at a time, guys. A little bit at a time. Okay, now I know this ain't gonna be easy to pull this tool out, because I knew it was gonna be tight, but I'm gonna, so I can check that I'm going in straight. And if I am, I'm just gonna go ahead and head it home. I am not, so I'm gonna use my socket now to try and get straight. This socket is too big for this ring, but I'm only using it on the edge because I just want to get this thing set about straight, and then I think I can drive it home with this one, at least most of the way home anyways. Ah, this thing is bouncing around a bit. Okay, I think that's about as far. I might get one more tap out of this tool. But the beautiful thing is, I think it will be in enough that it shouldn't go crooked on me. Yeah, I think we should be okay theoretically. Remember, this side's gonna be wrong. Okay, so now I got to get a little bit smaller socket, neighbors. I think 9/16. No, I'm sorry. It's going to be 5/8, damn it. I think it's going to be a 5/8 on this side. 9/16 is close. It sets the... I really would rather have my 5/8. Okay, let's see how a 14 mil fits it. Because I don't see my 5/8, unfortunately. 14 mil is a good size. Okay, I like it. Okay. Hey, I'm feeling a little off kiltered there. I don't like it. Okay, now we're much better. Much better. Much better. Again, this is why I like having this specialty tool, because I do so many saws. Ah, hell, we have went crooked. I do so many saws, I don't have time for this garbage. I need to be able to just take the tool and press it in and let it tell me where my depth is and how square I am and everything else. It just fits right into the saw the way the chit is supposed to go. Sets your depth for you. You don't have to sit there on the internet and find out who's telling the truth or lies, or what's a legit service manual, etc., etc. You just roll with it, neighbors. And so eventually I will have all my tools stocked up again like that. They're just, it takes time. I can get them. It just takes a lot of time to dig up the tool you need in the manual. Even damn Stihl dealers have to deal with trying to figure out the right part numbers and shit. Our seal is, it feels crooked. It really feels crooked, 100%. I mean, it's not enough that I can't get it straight, but we don't want to leave it crooked. Here it went. It wasn't much. I didn't need much. I think I'll go a little more, but okay, yeah, I need to go a little more on this side without the other side going. There we go. I think I got it. Nope. I need a little more. Damn. I need a little more to be square, it seems. Not much, but I do need a little, just a little tiny bit on this side, just a little tiny bit. Not quite there, it doesn't seem. I can't get, the problem is I can't get my finger down in there, nor can I get a proper depth measurement. So I really just have to kind of trust my eye, and I should have this light on there. Sorry neighbors if this gets in your way. I feel like I'm not square. Well, yeah, no, I feel like I'm not square. I mean, it's a tiny amount, but it matters to me. It matters to me because whoever has this saw, if he does decide to sell it, we want them to have that seal last as long as it can and not wear out because it's slightly crooked. There we go. Yeah. Now we're level, guys. Now we can vacuum pressure test, okay? And so essentially, here's how I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to put oil literally all over my seal, pump a bunch of pressure up, and see if she leaks, okay? If bubbles form in my oil, then I've got a problem. So I'm going to go ahead and get my oil on here because it might form bubbles whilst I'm doing, I want to give it a chance to settle and everything whilst I grab my hose and hook it up here. Now remember, we've already got our our muffler. I'm sorry, my alien computer programming in my brain had a glitch there. We already have our block in our muffler, and we've got our specialty flange back here from Stihl, and we're gonna go ahead and hook our vacuum pressure pump up, put some pressure, and see if we have bubbles form in our oil. If we don't, we will move to the next side. If we do, we will get mad and shut the camera off and take a breather and do something else, like go move logs or run a chainsaw. Okay, the way this is pumping up, I can tell I have an air leak, I feel like. I mean, it's a big saw though, so. I like to go to 7.5 pounds, you guys. That's my personal. I see a lot of saws that, yeah, I've got a leak. Check. It's not here. So hopefully it's human error somewhere, an attachment or something. But right now, we want to know where it is. And so we'll check our other crankshaft seal, because those are the things we just did. Yeah, it looks like cheat leaking. Chit. Okay. Well, go backwards. Not backwards, but we'll go to the other side, see what's going on. If I can verify a leak somewhere else, like my attachments, and I can see that I get no bubbles in my crankshaft seals, well, hell then, neighbors, guess what? We're good to go. Okay? But it is 100%. There's air leaks somewhere. Okay, I just got to figure out where. Okay, hopefully it's like an attachment or something. Okay, it could be our decom valve, could be our spark plug, could be a multitude of things. But we can't put any of our saw back together until we find that leak. So let's do this again. We're still holding about 5 pounds, but we were up to 7. And so we'll go back up to 7, and we'll go to 7 for now. Okay. I'm going to check our inner first. I'm going to go ahead and level this saw out on my bench. And the thing is, right now, I don't see any leak in my crankshaft seals. Or do I? Or do I see a minute hidden little leak? Let's see. No, I do not. According to our scientific flawless test here, there's no air leak. I've seen air leaks. You know, where the hell, Keith, why didn't you have your... Did I spill it out? Shit, I gotta watch the footage. If you forgot that, dude, I'm telling you right now, your air leak might be a nightmare air leak. Huh. We're still leaking, but it's slow now. So, essentially now I'm going to take my soapy water and start spraying Chit. Okay? And see if I can get bubbles to present. I really hope he doesn't have an air leak in his channel where I did. If he did bearings, I don't know, people crack, micro crack cases doing that. You can look at Nightmare 441 list and others. I'll try to put an info card for you. This video is way longer than I anticipated. Way longer, as usual, damn it. So... I don't know, you guys got to stay here because we got to find the Chit. That's the bottom line. I mean, what the hell else are we supposed to do? So, got some water here. Oh, there it is. His fucking decom valve is bad. I'll be damned. That didn't show before, but that's probably because his crankshaft seal was leaking so bad. I think I just saw bubbles come up out of this biatch until I turned it. Yeah, it's the decom valve. See all the bubbles forming, neighbors? You see that, Chit? Okay, I mean, I can't, boy. Neighbor Keith, we'll have to talk, neighbor. You might have to help me a little bit with the decom valve, neighbor. I know we made a deal, but that's a $25 part, neighbor. And Chainsaw Redeemer can't afford to add to the deal right now, if that makes sense to you, buddy. So I'm going to put a new decom valve in for you, but can you please pay me for it for the $25, neighbor? That's what I would ask, and still do our deal on the skid steer for my gravel. I would really appreciate that if you can make that deal with me. So I'm going to put a Formatech decom valve in for you, neighbor. Yours looks like a brand new fucking Stens, though. That's what confuses me. Keith, it looks brand new. Wait a minute. Let me see if it's, buddy, let me see if it's leaking where it's seated or if it's leaking in the hole. If it's leaking where it's seated, maybe we can Loctite it. Okay, I'll do that for you. That's part of the deal. As long as I don't have to lose my $25 part. No, this thing is bad. It's leaking up top. Here, yeah, I can see it. I think it's leaking up top. Chit. I still see bubbles. Well, let me see if I can wrench it down a little bit. Let me see what happens. I forget what the hell size I need. Damn it. 13, I think. On these weird stands. This is an aftermarket one, I believe. Yeah, that thing is just... Look at all that air. That, neighbors, is supposed to have air come out when you do it like that. I was just saying. So, that was normal, okay. Damn, this video is forever because of your damn thing here, Keith. And your shit being set too deep. I'm gonna have to charge you $50 extra now. Yeah, that biscuit was not seated down. You'd be surprised, that's all it takes is that quarter turn to seat that crush washer. And the Chainsaw Redeemer's pain sometimes is what causes me not to have that Chit seat. And so I find air leaks in my saws after I build them. And I'm like, well, shit, I didn't get my decom valve tight enough. That's why it's good to vacuum pressure test saws automatically after you rebuild them if you can. I don't do it to every single one, but most of them. Okay, I can't. Oh, yeah, you guys, I'm in pain. I'm so sorry. It's hard to hold the saw and wrench on it at the same time because I need both arms to wrench because I'm weak. Okay, there we go. Let's see if that will help. It should be tight now. And then we'll find out if it's the decom or if it's just where it was seated. Let's try again, neighbors. Yeah, the way it's pumping up still, I can tell. I think we're still going to have a leak. Yeah, it appears we're still leaking. Although I don't see bubbles. Maybe I misspoke. Let's watch for a moment, neighbors. Okay, I'm going to leave that for like 4 minutes at 7.5 pounds, okay? And see what happens. Yeah, no, we've not even gotten 2 minutes in and we're still losing pressure. But I don't see a leak at the decom no more. Oh, yes I do. I see bubbles fizzing. No, I don't. Damn it, I can't tell. It's so slow. Okay. Problem is though, I can't really, I can take his decom out to test and try and eliminate that as a source of leak. But I really don't want to. I prefer to find one of my attachments isn't just very good or something. You know, that I had loosened it, like right there, that wasn't quite on all the way. See, I need to go ahead and cut my end. It's been flared out for too long now. It's gotten old. So let me do that and we'll try again, neighbors. Yeah, no, we're still leaking. Still leaking. So, I don't know what to do. Could be leaking on his damn oil channel like my Nightmare 441 was. Should we find out? I'm trying to check the impulse hose, the intake boot. We 100% have a very slow leak. 100%. It's very slow, but it's there. I'm almost willing to bet it's the decom. Damn it. Sorry, neighbors. I get frustrated when it's something so stupid like this. I get so mad. I really do. I've done my... now I've gone... way longer than I agreed to work on this saw, and I can't tell him, hey, I gotta charge you more. I mean, I don't, that doesn't feel right. Just because I can't find out where this freaking thing is leaking from. Yeah, I can't find it, neighbors. I just cannot find a leak. I'm willing to bet it's the decom valve, and that makes me want to eliminate it just to verify. I'm gonna have to. Okay, so we'll do that and then we'll try again. I'll be damned, that's the OEM. That's the OEM decom valve. It looked new to me. It is not. Okay, so I've been fighting a nightmare. It's confusing to me how saws get rebuilt, and we call them rebuilt, yet they have leaky decom valves. I'm just flabbergasted me. So essentially, neighbors, we're just going to put this close off bolt on here, and the problem is this saw needs a decom valve. I cannot try to start this saw without one. I wouldn't even do it. I wouldn't waste my time. I'm GIMP, and I know Keith doesn't want to start this without a decom valve either. So we just got to try and eliminate air leak, because the saw is going to run wrong still if it has a small air leak. Most likely this thing had a major air leak, but a small air leak could still cause us not to be able to get this saw running right, and I'm not fucking going backwards if I can help it. So I want to verify without a shadow of a doubt that this thing is good to go with no air leak before we put it back together and fire it up. So, shall we try again? And again, the way my needle's moving, usually when you have to work that hard to pump it up and the needle doesn't have a good bounce to it as you pump up, usually that means you've got an air leak. Yes, we are still leaking. Unbelievable. I can't go further. I can't do this. It's not my fault. This fucking saw has an air leak still. I've done nothing wrong. I've done everything. I'll pause you while I watch it. Okay, yeah, I'm still losing air, neighbors, and I'm not quite sure. I'm gonna go ahead and put a vacuum to this thing and see what happens. If I'm still losing air, my thing is I'm just like stuck right now on my Nightmare 441 air leak that I had, and I went through all that work on that saw like 3 times, rebuilt that saw like 3 times, only to find out that I still had air leak, and it was in my crankcase on my clutch side in the oil channel. I will make that the end card of this video so you can see what I'm talking about, because here's the thing. If I cannot locate this air leak, it could be something like that, to where the whole crankcase has to be disassembled and shit. And my thing is, wait a minute, do y'all see that shit? I wonder if that's just soap. Let's see. If I can't locate the air leak as... Oh, that would suck in. I don't want to do that. That was stupid. Damn it. See, this is where I start. Like, this was supposed to be a simple job today. And now it's taking up my whole day, and no other jobs get done. And I'm still not making money. Still not making money, you guys. This is the life of a saw builder. Not a custom saw builder, because they make killer money, but I'm not a custom saw builder. I do base gasket deletes and muffler modifications. That's it, at least for now. So essentially the challenge is, if I cannot locate this leak, I have to tell Keith, neighbor, you need to look at the Nightmare 441 and understand something, that I'll put this saw back together, and if it still doesn't run right, your bill has to go up. And I love you, neighbor Keith, but that is the reality of it, neighbor. I'm drowning here because I don't want to tell people that, because what if it's human error? But I've done my job right. My crankshaft seals are not leaking, at least that I can see. What I will do is turn my motor over a little bit, I guess. See, it's holding vacuum just fine, neighbors. We've got a vacuum that's holding, but our pressure is not. And so, let's go back to pressure and see, can we yet hold pressure since we've done vacuum now? I don't know. The way it is pumping up doesn't appear to me that we will. No, I see just a minute amount of leak down. I feel like I do. I'm just gonna leave it there for a while, I think. Sometimes it's hard if you move your eyes or the meter or anything even a little bit, it's hard to see that the gauge has dropped. But no, I see it. It's dropping 100%. So it's holding vacuum but not pressure. Yeah, we're just losing pressure. I'm gonna see how far it drops. Oh, there's a bubble. There it is. I found it. See that bubble forming? Let's see if that was just a quinky dink there. Nope. He's got bubbles coming up out of this oil bolt hole. Yep. I think his crankcase is damaged. I'll be damned, I gotta tell my neighbor this shit. Are you kidding me? I'm so fucking sorry, Keith. This sucks, man. Dude. You gotta watch the Nightmare 441. I really don't think this saw's gonna run right, neighbor. Look at all them fuzzies coming out of your damn bolt hole. And I bet they probably come out of there too. Shit, neighbor. And we are still losing pressure. Yeah, man, right there. Do you guys see? You guys need to watch the Nightmare 441. This shit is fucking unbelievable right now. This is the shit that makes me want to go and lay in bed and say, why, neighbor Jesus? Why are you doing this? Why are you allowing this to happen? Look at all these bubbles forming here, you guys, out of the bolt hole. The oil bolt hole right there, okay? None coming out of the oil channel. But his ring was missing right here. I'm going to watch the footage. I left that fucking thing off of my 441, I think. May have caused my air leak. And I had told the guy that sold me the saw, see, because I'm thinking that oil pump would have been doing that. But I will watch the footage. I could be wrong. Either way, I can't proceed. And that sucks because now this fucking saw is on my bench taken apart with more hardware and more parts off of it. And I've got to call my neighbor, see if he answers. He's not responded to me all day today. See if I can get a hold of him. And see what the hell he wants to do. Given that it's not come out of the channel yet, it's weird though. I mean, we could Permatex that bolt. I would Loctite or Permatex that bolt hole. That's where I started when my 441 had an issue. But again, if you guys watch the Nightmare 441 and others playlist, you will see me finding that air leak on that 441, and I've still got a ton of footage I haven't gone through yet of where I rebuilt that saw after I had had it set for so long and forgot. I thought my air leak was coming through my oil channel from my oil tank, so I thought if I'd replace my crankcase gasket, I was good to go. But that wasn't the case because it was a micro fracture. You guys have to watch it. I cannot explain it. I've got to call neighbor Keith, you guys. That's it. And that's another hour-long video that I don't have good internet to get to the internet. So we'll see what the hell happens. Be kind to one another. Neighbor Keith and I are facing the same fucking nightmare battle, potentially. We are still losing pressure. Look, we were at 7 pounds, neighbors. We were way over here when Stop pumped it up again. And look where we are now. You can't miss that drop. And it didn't take too long to drop. At 5 pounds, the saw should hold all damn knot. I got to find out if he put bearings in this or something. I don't know what happened. We're going to watch the footage. I'm going to call him and watch the footage. And find out what the hell if that thing was in there or not. Okay, because I'm telling you right now, if that little $5 fucking part destroys your crankcase, you guys, we got to be more mindful. There's a little tiny black seal. I could even pull out the Nightmare box right now, but this video is too damn long. And it goes right in there. It's like an open, almost O-ring washer type deal. Okay, and it sits there in your oil channel. And that is what your oil pump, or your oil comes from here into your oil pump, and your pump pumps it up here, and that is your oil channel. And most of that channel is in your tank, but my micro fracture was from in there to over behind my bearing. And I think on mine though, somebody pressed that bearing in without doing it proper and caused the micro fracture in the magnesium. And so that's gonna be it, you guys. So remember, be kind to one another. Everyone's facing battles. I love all 8 billion of you, damn it. Let's keep persevering though.